One day a man with an elephant walks into a movie theater.
Bonk.
"I'm afraid I can't let your elephant in here, sir," the manager says.
Bonk.
"Oh, I assure you, he's very well behaved," the man says.
Bonk.
"All right then," the manager says.
Bonk.
"If you're sure."
Bonk.
After the movie, the manager says to the man, "I'm very surprised. Your elephant was well behaved, and he even seemed to enjoy the movie." "Yes, I was surprised too," says the man. "He hated the book." A man was driving down the road when a policeman stopped him.
Bonk.
The officer looked in the back of the man's truck and said, "Why are these penguins in your truck?"
Bonk.
The man replied,
Bonk.
"These are my penguins. They belong to me."
Bonk.
"You need to take them to the zoo,"
Bonk.
the policeman said.
Bonk.
The next day, the officer saw the same guy driving down the road. He pulled him over again.
Bonk.
He saw the penguins were still in the truck,
Bonk.
but they were wearing sunglasses this time. "I thought I told you to take these penguins to the zoo,"
Bonk.
the officer said.
Bonk.
"I did," the man replied. "And today, I'm taking them to the beach." A guy asks a girl to go to a dance.
Bonk.
She agrees, and he decides to rent a suit. The rental has a long line, so he waits and waits, and finally he gets his suit.
Bonk.
He decides to buy flowers, so he goes to the flower shop.
Bonk.
The flower shop has a long line, so he waits and waits until he finally buys flowers.
Bonk.
He picks up the girl and they go to the dance.
Bonk.
There is a long line into the dance, so they wait and wait.
Bonk.
Finally, they get into the dance,
Bonk.
and the guy offers to get the girl a drink.
Bonk.
She asks for punch, so he goes to the drink table, and there is no punch line.
Bonk.
"You mean the gas you'll ask me for money to buy?" Nice try, but the answer's still no. Three friends stranded on a deserted island find a magic lamp.
Bonk.
Inside it is a genie who agrees to grant each friend one wish.
Bonk.
"I want to go home," says the first friend.
Bonk.
The genie grants her wish.
Bonk.
"I want to go home too,"
Bonk.
says the second friend.
Bonk.
And the genie sends her back home.
Bonk.
"I'm lonely," says the third friend. "I sure wish my friends were back here." A businessman went into the office and found an inexperienced handyman painting the walls.
Bonk.
The handyman was wearing two heavy parkas on a hot summer day. Thinking this was a little strange, the businessman asked the handyman why he was wearing the parkas on such a hot day.
Bonk.
The handyman showed him the instructions on the can of paint.
Bonk.
They read, "For best results, put on 2 coats." A prince was put under a spell so that he could speak only 1 word each year.
Bonk.
If he didn't speak for 2 years,
Bonk.
the following year he could speak 2 words, and so on.
Bonk.
One day, he fell in love with a beautiful lady.
Bonk.
He refrained from speaking for 2 whole years so he could call her my darling.
Bonk.
But then he wanted to tell her he loved her.
Bonk.
So he waited 3 more years.
Bonk.
At the end of these 5 years, he wanted to ask her to marry him.
Bonk.
So he waited another 4 years.
Bonk.
Finally, as the 9th year of silence ended, he led the lady to the most romantic place in the kingdom and said, "My darling, I love you.
Bonk.
Will you marry me?"
Bonk.
And the lady said, "Pardon?" A boy read a restaurant sign that advertised fat-free French fries.
Bonk.
"Sounds great,"
Bonk.
said the health-conscious boy. He ordered some.
Bonk.
He watched as the cook pulled a basket of fries from the fryer.
Bonk.
The potatoes were dripping with oil when the cook put them into the container.
Bonk.
"Wait a minute," the boy said. "Those don't look fat-free."
Bonk.
"Sure they are," the cook said.
Bonk.
"We charge only for the potatoes.
Bonk.
The fat is free." 2 friends are walking their dogs, a Dalmatian and a Chihuahua, when they smell something delicious coming from a nearby restaurant.
Bonk.
The guy with the Dalmatian says, "Let's get something to eat."
Bonk.
But the guy with the Chihuahua says, "We can't go in there. We have dogs with us."
Bonk.
So the first guy says, "Just follow my lead."
Bonk.
He puts on a pair of sunglasses and walks into the restaurant. "Sorry," says the owner, "no pets allowed."
Bonk.
"But this is my seeing-eye dog," the guy with the Dalmatian says. "A Dalmatian? Yes, they're using them now."
Bonk.
The owner says, "Very well then, come on in."
Bonk.
The guy with the Chihuahua repeats the process and gets the same response from the owner.
Bonk.
"Sorry, pal, no pets allowed."
Bonk.
"But this is my seeing-eye dog," says the second guy.
Bonk.
"A Chihuahua?" asked the incredulous owner. "A Chihuahua?"
Bonk.
says the man in the dark glasses. "They gave me a Chihuahua."